terrorists in the Kathua terror attack.
Security forces have recovered the rounds of the bullets that have been used by the Pakistani terrorists to target the Indian Army vehicle in the Machedi area on July 8. The forces have recovered the rounds of 5.56 mm rounds of the bullets that were used in the M4 carbine, the US-made assault rifle, and also 7.62 mm of the steel core bullets that have been used in the AK series rifles. This shows that how Pakistan is pushing the sophisticated weapons along with the steel core bullets into the Indian territory, so that the Pakistani terrorists who have managed to sneak inside the Indian territory can target the security forces. The steel core bullets are able to pierce through the bulletproof jackets of the Indian Army Jawans and the security forces, and this has been used very frequently by the Pakistani side in all the recent terror attacks and operations that have taken place in the Jammu region.
The Jammu and Kashmir Police's Special Operations Group is carrying out searches in Samba and is also conducting anti-tunneling operations along the international border to prevent future infiltrations.
The regular inputs which suggested that the terrorists might be using some tunnel to sneak into the Indian territory, as BSF says that there has not been any infiltration from the international border, at least from the international border fence, and after which there have been apprehensions by the central agencies also that a tunnel is being used by the Pakistani terrorists to sneak into the Indian territory, as they have been coming in the large numbers and carrying out major terror strikes. The recent one in the Kathua's Machedi, where 5 brave hearts of the Indian Army attained martyrdom in an attack that was targeted at the vehicle of Indian Army, wherein the terrorists from the Jaish-e-Mohammed, they strike using the M4 carbine, the US-made rifle, and also the steel core bullets, along with the grenades which they lobbed on the Indian Army vehicle, so that they can inflict maximum casualties.
Joint forces along with the Jammu and Kashmir Police have ramped up anti-terror operations as a fresh wave of insurgency from Pakistan has caused alarm along parts of Jammu ahead of the assembly polls scheduled for later this year.
So as far as the Kathua incident is concerned, now the security forces have launched a massive anti-tunneling drive. This has been launched in the area opposite to the Shakargarh of the Samba district. This is the Pakistan's notorious area that has always been facilitating the infiltration of the terrorists, and also the infiltration and the smuggling of the narcotics and weapons into the Indian territory. The Special Operations Group of the Samba Police has launched a massive anti-tunneling drive along the international border.
And the state of law and order in West Bengal has once again come into question. Videos of lynching, violence and assault are going viral day in and day out on social media. And now, amidst the ongoing bypolls, more incidents of violence are being reported. Citizens are alarmed and they're desperate for a solution. There is no word, no action from the Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee yet. Take a listen into this report.
From widespread violence amid the bypolls to a child being beaten up mercilessly by TMC strongmen in Bengal's Aridhaha, citizens of the state are desperate for a way out from Mamata's Gundaraj. Polling for the bypolls in 4 assembly seats in West Bengal, which have ended. A day before the polling, a wave of violence erupted in the state yet again. A minor was beaten up mercilessly by TMC strongmen in the Aryada locality in Kamarahati municipality in the North 24 Parganas. This incident follows an earlier video of a Muslim woman being stripped, beaten and paraded on the streets in Cooch Behar district. Another terrifying clip showed a couple being publicly flogged in Uttar Dinajpur over an alleged illicit affair. These incidents of Taliban-style torture have not only shaken up the country's conscience, but also put the spotlight on the complete collapse of law and order in West Bengal.
Again in this edition of Across the Republic, viewers, but live and breaking will continue on the other side of this very short break. Stay tuned to Republic TV, don't go anywhere.
China's sinister plot has now been exposed, an attempt to cultivate assets in Ladakh. Tonight on This Is Exclusive, we get you full details.
Amity has been ranked among the top universities globally for producing the most employable graduates by the Times Higher Education UK. Yet another testimony to Amity's excellent placement record.
Поговорить, наверное, о тех же вопросах, но неофициально.
आज अनौपचारिक रूप से हम घर के वातावरण में हम उसी मामलों पर बात कर सकते हैं।
Это официальная резиденция, где я живу.
ये मेरा औपचारिक निवास है, मैं यहाँ पे रहता हूँ।
С этой стороны комплекс. Работаем, коллеги.
यहाँ पे मेरा ऑफिस है, यहाँ पे मैं अपने सहकर्ताओं में काम करता हूँ।
С той стороны бытовые помещения и дом. Мы с вами там сегодня будем уже.
और पीछे मेरे घर ही है, हम वहाँ पे भी बैठेंगे उधर।
Но вначале хотел бы вас поздравить с переизбранием на должность премьер-министра.
सबसे पहले आपके पुनर्निर्वाचित पर मैं आपको हार्दिक बधाई देना चाहती हूँ।
Думаю, что это не случайно. Результат вашей работы на протяжении многих лет.
वो अचानक नहीं
Благодаря
हुआ।
правительству.
वो अचानक नहीं हुआ। सरकार के प्रथान के रूप में ये आपके सालों का नतीजा है।
У вас свои идеи, вы очень энергичный человек, вы умеете добиваться результатов в интересах Индии и индийского народа.
आपके बहुत सारे विचार है, आपकी ऊर्जा बहुत है और आपके भारत की जनता के हितों में बहुत कुछ काम करते हैं।
И результат очевидный.
और ये नतीजे वो देखने को मिलता है।
Индия уверена.
From China's sinister plot to punishing the VVIP rich killers to organ transplant syndicate. All this and more on This Is Exclusive at 7 p.m.
Amity has been ranked among the top universities globally for producing the most employable graduates by the Times Higher Education UK. Yet another testimony to Amity's excellent placement record.
Man, I heard a big boom. I just thought it was a limb. I didn't know it was a whole tree. Man, I come outside and saw the whole tree. I said, oh man, we in trouble. about 3:30 this morning, and coming down, and man, I heard a big boom. I just thought it was a limb. I didn't know it was a whole tree. Man, I come outside and saw the whole tree. I said, oh man, we in trouble. Man, I didn't know if these trees was gonna come down too. It was really blowing. It's something like a tornado come through here, cause all this stuff like that, it had to be.
Around 2 a.m., we started hearing some of the limbs hitting the patio, but rain was mostly what we had. Fairly quiet until just about dawn, when I got out and looked around in the eye.
Embrace the power of Young India, the inaugural edition of Republic Youth Summit, where youth icons and trailblazers across industries will come together to inspire the leaders of the future. The event will feature a stellar lineup of speakers who will discuss the issues that move the youth of the nation. Stay tuned for Republic Youth Summit 2024, from vision to victory. We are getting in visuals from Vienna right now. Prime Minister Modi's visit to Vienna is underway. Remember, this is the first Indian Prime Minister to visit Austria in 41 years. And there you have, it's a landmark visit, and the bilateral talks are right now underway. Just a while back, we had India-Austria joint statement. Prime Minister Modi had reiterated that it's not the time for war. This coming in, it's a landmark visit, remember, right after he visited Russia. That visit concluded yesterday. He arrived in Vienna, first Prime Minister to visit Austria in 40 years. Prime Minister Modi calling on the President of the Republic of Austria, Alexander van der Bellen, and holding talks with the Chancellor of Austria as well, Karl Nehammer. The Prime Minister and Chancellor are also going to address the business leaders from India and Austria. And my colleague, Senior Executive Editor Abhishek Kapoor, joins us on the phone line for more. Abhishek, we're just seeing a handshake right now, and there are talks that are underway right now.
Well, yes. So a very important visit panning out, Rakshita. We know that a Prime Minister from India is visiting Austria after a gap of 41 years, and that sort of underscores the kind of neglect the relationship was suffering from, and which got, in fact, reflected in many of the positions Austrians took, for example, on India's membership or claim to membership of the United Nations Security Council. They would say that, yes, maybe the UNSC needs reform, maybe, yes, India needs a little more say in UNSC, but they would stop short of saying that India should become a permanent member of the UNSC. And that perhaps was a reflection of the state of affairs, the kind of engagement or diplomatic engagement that was happening. So I think a correction is happening with Prime Minister's visit. Also remember, this is another aspect of the present context in which this visit is happening, that apart from Viktor Orban of Hungary, who visited Moscow just about last week, the Austrian Chancellor also happens to be the only European leader who has gone to Moscow post the Ukraine war in a way, and that gives you an idea of the kind of position that Austria has on the ongoing situation in Europe. So it's possible that there is a lot of coming together of interest, alignment, and understanding on how the war should pan out, and there would be a lot of exchange of thoughts on that between the Austrian leadership and Prime Minister Modi and his delegation. We're seeing those delegation level talks happening. So I think, given the fact that Prime Minister has very clearly enunciated his position on Europe, both in the presence of President Putin and also in Austria, when he has said that this is something which cannot be allowed to fester and a solution should be found, and the fact that even the Americans have made a very responsible statement today, not throwing tantrums, but suggesting that since Prime Minister has been to Moscow, maybe he can prevail upon on President Putin to stop the war. I think these are important pictures coming in with Prime Minister in gateway to German-speaking nations and Germanic countries, as also, of course, larger Central Europe. And bilaterally, of course, there will be focus on trade. It's, again, a very underexplored area with about just $2 billion or less of trade. All those things on the table when these talks take place.
Absolutely, Abhishek. It's a significant visit of the Prime Minister and a landmark one. Thank you so much for joining us with those details on that development. All right, viewers, it's a landmark verdict by the Supreme Court that has upheld the rights of a Muslim woman to file a petition for maintenance against her husband under Section 125 CRPC. Now, the breaking updates we have is that the Muslim Rashtriya Manch, the MRM, has said that we need UCC. The Muslim Rashtriya Manch has welcomed the move. The Muslim Rashtriya Manch has said that has lauded this landmark verdict by the Supreme Court that upholds the right of a Muslim woman, the right to alimony after divorce. And Muslim Rashtriya Manch has said that the country needs the uniform civil code. Remember, this judgment is being seen as something that values, that upstages secular law over personal law. And the debate over UCC gets stoked once again. Let's take a listen to what the national convener of Muslim Rashtriya Manch had to say.
86 Shabano case, then we've witnessed 2019 triple talaq ban. Yet another landmark judgment today by the Supreme Court. Can you clear certain things for us? How has things changed for Muslim women?
See, basically we have seen that after the Shabano case, the 125 CRPC was implemented in her case. It is still being implemented by women. The only fact remains that how many women go to family court for their maintenance. The 1986 Special Marriage Divorce Act that was brought in by the Congress, why is that still being taken in? Because over there you are going to a judicial magistrate for your case. You're not going to a family court. You're going to a judicial magistrate. The scope is much less. We need a wider scope. We need more literacy. We need the literacy to reach the women so that they know what are their rights and what all they can fight for. Because if they are not given what they deserve, then definitely they will go to court and we will definitely help them go to court. We would want that such catastrophes don't take place again. Like I said, 125 CRPC has been there since the time of Shah Banu case, but not many people knew it. Today the Supreme Court has passed a judgment. Now today again the awareness has come in that yes, 125 CRPC is applicable, taking into consideration that no religion is going to be followed. It is the criminal law where it is going to be followed. I would also like to put on record that it is just not that we have to follow what is being said. We need to raise our voice. We need a uniform civil code. We need UCC to come in for such cases wherein the Nikah-nama, which is the only marriage contract in all religions that is being followed, and yet it is not being followed to the T by the Qazis and by the Maulanas in our religion.
One question, ma'am, regarding the Muslim religious leaders. We have seen after triple talaq ban the kind of ramifications that we have seen. What kind of ramifications should we expect after this 124 CRPC law that will now in fact be implemented?
First and foremost, what is important is the country that you're living in. You are a national of that country. So even in the Quran it has been mentioned कि जिस धरती पे आप रहते हैं, जिस जगह में आप रहते हैं, उसका कानून को फॉलो करना आपका आधा ईमान होता है. So I would like to request all the Muslims, as a matter of fact all the nationals of this country, that they have to follow the law of the land. And if the law of the land says that this has to be done, then it has to be done. Our country is the largest democratic country in the world. We do not follow the Shariat law. We do have the freedom of following whichever religion we are. But we should not do it in a way where we are trying to impose it on other people. We should do it in a very dignified manner. Because before also I have said it, that religion and politics both go a very personal way and they should never be imposed on public. So yes, landmark judgment, it was made during Shah Banu, then it was down in the deep sleep also. Today the slumberness has gone away, the awareness has come about, and that's exactly that we need. We need more Maulanas, we need more Qazis to come out in the open, tell them to literate women children, men of their religion, and they should know the Quran the way it has been written rather than said by many fanatical people in our country.
So in fact, in real we are seeing that more and more people from the Muslim community are welcoming this move by the Supreme Court. Take a listen to more reactions from the Muslim community.
This is a historical judgment. This is a landmark judgment not only on the issue of the maintenance of the woman, but this is a judgment which deals with the empowerment of the woman, irrespective of her religion. Right? And so far the issue is concerned, in present case, the narrow issue was whether the application under section 125 of the CRPC will be applicable in case the divorced woman. Because there is a special act under section 3, it says that it bars the jurisdiction of other provisions. But court has taken a very pragmatic view. Court has gone beyond the dispute and given a landmark judgment regarding the empowerment of the woman.
So what happens to the law